watching the Empire Sports Network, the home of hometown heroes.
Welcome once again to Fan Forum. I am Art Wander, the tiny tot of the kilowatt, and it is going to be a night of big discussion. Darryl Talley back in camp. The Turk made a trip to the turf at Rich Stadium, and we're going to be talking about that in the reported cuts. But first of all, we're going to take a pause, and then you're going to be back with me on Fan Forum on the Empire Sports Network.
It started. The Buffalo Bills' quest to return to the Super Bowl. The Bills training camp is in full swing with the 1991 NFL season just around the corner. Watch the Empire Sports Network each Monday night at 7:30 throughout camp for extended coverage of the Buffalo Bills in training 1991. Meet the rookies, follow the veterans, and hear what the coaches have to say. Bills in training 91, Monday nights at 7:30, only on the Empire Sports Network, the home of hometown heroes.
Tired of the same old stick and ball sports?
Well, bring the family to Holland Speedway this Saturday night and catch all the color and excitement of Western New York's premier racetrack. NASCAR late model pro stocks, Chargers, Challengers, Modifieds, and Figure Eights. It doesn't get any better than this. Gates open at 4. Racing at 6 p.m. sharp. 20 minutes south of Buffalo off Route 16. Holland Speedway, the ultimate racing experience.
We're going to be talking to Darryl Talley, who's on the line right now. Tried to make it over here, but we'll be talking to him. But let's take a look at the reported moves happening with the Buffalo Bills as they had to pare down to the regular roster of 47. Nose tackle, Odell Higgins. These are the reported cuts. Defensive back, Tim Smiley, David Poole, Matt Monger, Matt Rowland, Jay Stasiak, and surprisingly to a lot of people, wide receiver, kick returner Vernon Turner, that he is reported cut. Now, on injured reserve, Darrell Wren and Mark Maddox. Those are the reported injured reserve guys that are going to be out. They had to stay out the entire year. On waivers, defensive back Dwight Drain, linebacker David Bavaro, and what that means is if they clear the waivers, then the Bills can re-sign him and bring him back into the camp. 47-man roster, and one of the guys that made the roster is the fellow that was reporting back today, and that is Darryl Talley, after a summer that he probably wishes he would never have to live again. He was going to be over here, but he's tied up with a lot of things, but we do have him on the phone. Darryl, how are you?
All right, how you doing, Art?
I'm doing wonderful. Well, you're back in camp, but are you a happy camper?
Well, I'm back in camp for two reasons. My teammates and the fans in Buffalo.
Yeah.
I figured enough's enough. Nothing's been resolved, so might as well get in and play football. That's what I came here for.
Yeah, well, let me ask you a question. As far as the future is concerned, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, do you think there's going to be any conversations so that you can become one of the big happy campers with the Bills, Darryl?
I have no idea. I really don't know anything as far as that's concerned. That's up to, I guess, Mr. Polian.
Well, I'll tell you, if you probably have heard, the great sentiment of the fans throughout Western New York has been, get Darryl Talley back in camp. Get the deal done, get him back in camp, because you saw what's been happening with our defense, especially Saturday night.
Well, guys just had a bad day, that's all.
Yeah, well, it's all paring itself down, but Darryl, you definitely have done such an excellent job, especially in the last couple of years. You made the Pro Bowl last year, and you're definitely one of the needed items. I mean, they all said that, even when you weren't voted into the Pro Bowl, even Marv Levy and Bill Polian and Ralph Wilson said if there's one guy that deserved it, was Darryl Talley. And I'll tell you, I'm hopeful that Bill Polian will get the deal done.
Well, I'm hopeful we'll get it done, but I don't know. Like he said, if the ball's in his court now, I have nothing to do with it. I'm just sitting and waiting to see what happens. I'm going in to play football against the Miami Dolphins, and that's what I'm going to concentrate on. I have to try and block everything else out right now.
Well, so your main focus of concentration will be on just playing football and doing the great job that you've been doing for the Buffalo Bills.
That's what I have to try and maintain. You know, I can't get myself emotionally caught up in it, and even though I want to, but I have to try and keep myself away from it, you know, and just concentrate on playing football right now.
All right, let's see what a couple of the fans here in the audience have to say. Okay, Darryl?
Okay.
All right, hold the line. All right, yes.
Yes, Darryl, remember this Bill Polian quote. What would you rather have, a $2 million instant replay scoreboard or pay the players? Pay the players.
Thank you.
That's the sentiment going around. How about you? What do you have to say?
I like that, but, you know.
Mark it down.
I was just inquiring about how Darryl feels about how these, going into last season, a lot of teams have been successful as far as running on the Bills. What's the strategy as far as the Bills' defensive coordinator goes? Is there any type of eight-man front you guys possess, or any type of preparation you have for an eight-man front when you face a team that you know is going to run on you?
Well, basically, you just have to prepare for Miami for what Miami does a lot. Miami throws the ball. And now with the addition of Tony Page a year ago and Sammy Smith, and now they have this other guy, what's his name? I know his number. His number's 34, and he's running the ball extremely well.
That rookie is Aaron Craver from Miami.
Okay, well, you have to prepare for him running the football now because they're running the ball as equally as well as he's throwing it. And anytime you have Marino in the game, you have that threat.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question, Darryl. The fact is that the Chicago Bears, I think, got something like 247 yards rushing on Saturday. Will that have any kind of an effect? Let's say if you were in the game, which you weren't, would that have any kind of an effect on you?
Well, what it would do is it would make me want to buckle down and do what I didn't do right, you know. And that's what you basically have to be as a player. You have to self-coach yourself and say, hey, what didn't I do? Why didn't I do this? And basically try not to make the same mistakes again.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's. There's a little guy over here, and let's see if he's got something for Darryl Talley.
How much money are you planning to make if you?
I can't hear him.
He asked the question, how much money were you holding out? The one thing about it is, Darryl, you never went to the media at all during all this this summer.
No, I just basically sat back and said, if he said he was going to do it, we'll do it and get it done. And I just sat there and with that in the back of my mind, see what happened.
Now, you're going to be socked, what, about $65,000 in fines?
I have no idea what it is up to now.
Well, if they go along, if they say $1,500 a day, that was quite a bit. Let's go back over here and see if we can get a guy. Go ahead.
Sure. I'd like to throw in a personal view on why the Bills' defensive line hasn't been successful. I don't really...
I can barely hear him.
Well, all right. What kind of a question do you have for Darryl?
Oh, well,
get it later.
I'm just glad Darryl's back, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I don't have a question.
Darryl, I think the great sentiment is with the people of Western New York and the sports fans that you are back. I personally am hopeful that Bill Polian and Ralph Wilson will get it into their minds and say, this is a guy who has produced in the last couple of years. Get the deal done so that we can have everybody a happy camper. We're coming into the big one. And that is against Miami Sunday, and we got to get started, right?
Yeah, we have to get started. You know, like they say, no better time to start than the present. And you know, as soon as we come out the gate, we have our biggest foe. And you have to be ready for Miami, because if you're not, we'll get the same thing done to us that was done to us last year.
Well, Darryl, I'll tell you what I wish would happen, all right?
All right,
and you just watch what's going to happen. If the defensive unit is going to be introduced first Sunday before those 80,000 rousing fans out there, wait till they announce number 56, and you're going to hear how the fans really think of you here in Buffalo. Of course, you know that already. We all love you, Darryl, and lots of luck, and I hope they get the deal done, and let's hope that you have about 15 tackles, 3 interceptions, and 4 sacks on Sunday, all right?
All right.
Thanks a lot, my man.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Darryl Talley, so nice for him to have taken the time. We're going to be back over here when you call 827-3888, and we're going to get back with our fans as you watch Art Wander on the Fan Forum here on the Empire Sports Network. All right, back on Fan Forum here on the Empire Sports Network with Art Wander. We've got a ton of people in the studio. We have a ton of people on the phones. Let's go right with them. Hello, you're on Fan Forum with Art Wander.
Hi, Art. This